Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode here on the PGSMP. Things have been going quite well, and I hope that you've enjoyed the last couple of episodes that I've put out, as well as checked out a couple of the other collaborators that are here on this server. If you haven't yet, please feel free to go ahead and check them out. But today, well, I've got a pretty fun and important little update here. As you already know, we are standing on top of our Guardian farm. As you already know, we are standing on top of our Creeper farm, but there's been two decently large changes so far, and that is to build up some sugarcane farms that will also be active and running at the same time that we AFK this spot and that platform up there in the sky. And I've already built up two of them, but I thought that it might be kind of nice to go through the process for this particular design, mainly because it's one that I have found to be very, very efficient, all things considered. So let's jump down here. I've already started a little bit on the footprint of this just so I can kind of pace myself on it. But the basic way that it works is this. This sits about 5 blocks wide, and it's decently conservative on some of the more expensive bits, particularly these observers and the pistons as well. Well, all of these farms are going to have a large amount of pistons. But you'll see here you have 4 different blocks currently oriented a bit like this. If I step back a little bit, you can see there's 3 here on this level with 1 down below and 1 recessed back, and then another one off to the side here. And what we're going to need to do first and foremost is we need to extend this till it is 15 blocks long. So let's just go ahead and move that back like so. That'll bring it right in line with the front part of this. We then need to do the same thing for these blocks right here, and one more for here. I probably could have hit both of those on the same or at the same time while walking back, but it's fine. Now, I am building this a little bit higher off the ground, so that certainly makes things interesting as well. We'll want to take out this block because this is where we're going to need to stick a hopper, and then we'll take out these 2 blocks actually as well so we can put in some staircases in the upside down format. That's going to allow us to access these 2 chests as they sit right here, or this double chest, and that is what the drops from this farm or the sugarcane is going to feed into. We then come back around to this side, if I can get up here using my elytra jumping, and we will feed that hopper into the backside of that chest. So you'll have everything dropping from this farm into the double chest the same way that the other 2 are set up. Now, the other things that we need to go ahead and do here is, assuming that I can get up, there we are, is we put in the sand right like that. We'll need to cap off the end of this, and then we'll be in a good spot to place the water in this farm. So we'll place 1 bucket of water this way, 1 bucket of water this way. That's going to provide all the hydration needed for the sugarcane that we plant along here, as well as bringing it to 1 localized collection area down here at the bottom. We then, just to make absolutely sure that we're not going to run into any trouble, we shouldn't have any Endermen up here based off of the half slabs, but they can teleport in interesting ways. So just to be absolutely sure, you'll want to cap things off here as well. I don't think that we need this block, or actually we do, so I'll leave that actually. The next thing that we'll need to do is we need to take these blocks, the same ones that we've been using. You can use any blocks of your liking, but you'll want to line them up 1 high along the back side of this. And then you can bring, actually these 2 will be replaced with some glass. at a later date, so we don't want to place those there. But we'll place these blocks in like so. And then from here, what we're going to need to do is we need to switch over to our pistons and line those up on the blocks like so. Now pistons will face with the extending end based off of where you're placing it. So if you want them pushing in this direction, you need to have them pushing over towards you here. We're now ready to put in our observers, but I haven't crafted them up just yet. So let's go take care of that and then come back once we have those available for us. So before we put the observers in, it's best to line the backside here with that 5th wide spot of, again, any type of block, as long as it's not, an actual redstone block, because on this row is where we're going to need to place our redstone line or our redstone dust. Because what we will now do is we will take these observers and you'll want to place them basically exactly the opposite of the other way. So you'll see this then connects up with this redstone line, and we'll do the same thing right here and the last one down here on the other edge. Now, the reason that you want to space them out like this in this particular design is anytime an observer detects a change in the block in front of it, it will send out a signal that can go up to 15 blocks away. So that way you have 3 different points of activation. Anytime the sugarcane grows up in front of one of these observers, it'll be good enough to activate all of these pistons that are down below, push the taller sugarcane off into the water, and then have it automatically harvested down below. But to kind of close things up, we will want to place our couple of blocks right here along this edge just to kind of fill in any of the unnatural gaps. And then I do bump this up one higher in order to kind of fully close things off here in just a moment. So there we go. Everything looking pretty good there. So now we just plant down the preliminary sugarcane that's going to be right here. So by placing carpet here along the top of this farm, it'll make sure that we are further spawn proofing things, because you're not going to have anything spawning on top of this glass, and this will just kind of make sure that everything else is covered. Now the redstone should also be spawn proof, but I like to cover it just in case, as well as providing a little bit more of some aesthetics up here as well. So I'm going to need to smelt up just a little bit more glass to finish casing things off, and we'll be back in just a moment. And just like that, we have the farm completely cased in. Now, this probably isn't the most efficient way of building these farms up, but it certainly is functional, and I could probably go about building a couple more down on some lower ground, down around the base of this farm, as these don't follow the same rules as the mob spawning does. So as long as they're anywhere within the loaded chunks in this area, they should be running. But this will allow me to keep up with the sugarcane demand that's needed in order to craft up the firework rockets that I am selling. Because as you can see, this is a very, very efficient farm. I'm thinking about possibly venturing into the TNT market with all the gunpowder that I'm getting, or offering some increased flight duration rockets, but we'll have to see if there is any sort of demand for that. But speaking of firework rockets, there is another thing that I needed to announce. So let's head over to the shopping district to talk a little bit about that. So as you'll remember, we have our lovely little shop here, and I have a couple of different wares. These have actually sold a couple of different stacks already, so I've actually replenished a couple of the sales from here. That wasn't one of the items that I was expecting to sell super well, but it's apparently in quite high demand based off of a lot of the other things that I've done. Had a couple of sales of the shulker boxes here as well. The bone blocks aren't really doing anything. I actually think I'm going to increase the amount of bone blocks that are here, which is going to require me to spend some more time at my skeleton farm. But this is what I wanted to talk about primarily, is that the special deal that I'm offering on the firework rockets, and that is that any persons who purchase firework rockets, if they purchase 3 stacks, you can get the 4th stack for free. And they must be purchased all at the same time in order to take advantage of that. So these ones are 4 diamonds per stack for a full stack of the flight duration 1. And then these ones are at 3 diamonds per stack, again, for the paying server members. I might venture into the market of higher firework flight options, but again, that'll have to depend on if there's any demand for it. So I'll just kind of keep my ear to the ground. But there you have it, a walkthrough of the sugarcane farms that I'm going to be making use of to build up those firework rockets and other commodities. And hopefully you find that useful. I know it's not the most unique design, but I've found that it's a little bit conservative on the resources needed to build that up, especially where I haven't spent a whole lot of time in the Nether as of recently. But that should hopefully be changing within the next couple of episodes, because I've got to really grind out some resources for the large build project, which I'm going to have taking place right over there back behind me. But until then, I think that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you're enjoying this series, feel free to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily content, and we will catch you in the next episode. And once again, as a reminder, don't forget to check the links to all of the collaborators in the description of the video down below. So thanks again for watching, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.